This is the story of how an anonymous leaker forced Rockstar Games into an action the studio never planned to take, and why that single action tells you more about Grand Theft Auto 6 than any leaked clip could on its own. On August 18th, 2026, gameplay footage and map images claiming to come from GTA 6 hit the internet. And within hours, Rockstar filed copyright takedowns against the posts hosting them. That legal response is the real headline here, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why it carries more weight than the footage itself. Before any of that makes sense, you need to know where this game actually stood in the weeks leading up to it. The long road to November Grand Theft Auto 6 arrived in public view on December 4th, 2023, through a trailer that pointed toward a 2025 release window, later tightened to fall 2025. That window collapsed. May 2nd, 2025 brought the first Newswire post announcing a delay, pushing the launch to May 26th, 2026, with Rockstar explaining that they needed extra time to deliver at the level of quality players expect and deserve. 6 months later, it happened again. On November 6th, 2025, announced through the Newswire and alongside a Take-Two earnings call, Rockstar moved the game a second time to November 19th, 2026. And that date still stands today. The reasoning echoed the first announcement almost word for word, with the studio saying those additional months would let them finish the game with the level of polish fans have come to expect and deserve. 2 delays, roughly 6 months apart, dragged the launch about a year past that original fall 2025 window. For a franchise carrying this much cultural weight, each of those Newswire posts became a global news event on its own. That matters more than it sounds, because it created the exact condition everything else depends on. By the summer of 2026, appetite for any new information about this game had reached a level that's genuinely hard to overstate. And that hunger is the environment a leak like this detonates inside. The pressure builds. Signals that something official was coming had already started circulating in early August 2026. A gaming insider known as Nate the Hate, someone with a documented track record on GTA 6 pre-announcement information, shifted his tone in a way people picked up on immediately. On July 28th, he posted that fans should expect, quote, a fair bit of GTA 6 the following month. And 4 days later, he sharpened that hedge into something closer to a guarantee. Writing, it's August. In due time, we'll get the update people seek. Predictions became promises. That distinction is what set the community on edge. August 6th is when Rockstar made it official, announcing what they're calling an extended look, premiering on August 27th, and describing it as something fuller than a standard trailer. The distribution plan alone raised eyebrows across the industry. Netflix carries it exclusively at 3 p.m. Eastern, holds that exclusivity for a full 6 hours, and only then does the footage reach YouTube at 9 p.m. Eastern the same night. Rockstar paired the announcement with new artwork of the 2 protagonists, Jason and Lucia, and fans locked onto one detail almost instantly. Jason wears a shirt referencing Leonida, the game's fictional setting, showing a manatee riding a surfboard, which kicked off widespread speculation about surfing as an in-game activity. That remains fan theory and nothing more, because Rockstar has never said a word about surfing mechanics, and I'm not going to dress up a guess as reporting. The very next day, on August 7th, Take-Two held its quarterly earnings call, and even the scheduling of that call told you something. Management set it for a Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern, before the market opened, which broke a clear pattern. All 8 of Take-Two's previous quarterly calls had landed on a Wednesday or Thursday, after the market closed. Moving to Friday morning, pre-market, meant any major announcement would reach investors and consumers at the same moment during peak attention hours, and companies don't reshuffle earnings calls like that by accident. Take-Two Chief Executive Officer Strauss Zelnick used that call and conversations with Bloomberg around it to hand the community plenty to argue about. Pre-orders, in his words, came in unprecedented and astonishing, and he confirmed they had, quote, vastly exceeded the company's internal projections. What he refused to do was attach a number to any of it. His explanation was that demand had landed so far outside anything Take-Two had modeled that translating pre-orders into a sales forecast wasn't reliable yet. And he pointed to cancellation risk, plus the simple reality that not a single unit had shipped. Pricing got a defense, too. Pre-orders opened in late June of 2026 at $80 for the Standard Edition and $100 for the Ultimate Edition, a structure that had already drawn heavy criticism online. Zelnick's response left no ambiguity, telling investors, "I think Rockstar got it right on the pricing of the Standard Edition and Ultimate Edition, and there's no doubt consumers are excited about both." He pushed further, adding that Rockstar believes the $80 price brings, quote, way more value to consumers. Here's the detail most coverage skipped entirely. $8 billion to $8.2 billion is where Take-Two left its full-year guidance, completely unchanged, in the same breath as calling demand. Unprecedented. A company celebrating historic numbers publicly, while keeping its official forecast conservative, which reportedly left some Wall Street analysts frustrated that guidance never moved to match the rhetoric. Hold on to that tension, because it becomes relevant. By the second week of August, the board looked like this. 2 delays sat behind them. A reveal event was locked for August 27th. Pre-order demand was breaking records that nobody would quantify. And the CEO had just defended a controversial price on a specially rescheduled earnings call. Every piece of official messaging pointed at one date. And then, with 9 days left on the clock, somebody jumped the line. August 18th. On August 18th, 2026, a leaker or group operating under the name CyberLeak posted gameplay footage claiming to come from Grand Theft Auto 6. 2 clips carried the story. The first shows Jason at a waterside safe house shooting basketball with HUD elements visible on screen, including a stamina meter and a currency counter. Driving anchors the second clip, which follows Jason near an area identified as the Keys before he gets into a fight and picks up a wanted level. Alongside both, images circulated claiming to show the full in-game map of Leonida, a Miami-like cityscape ringed by islands and dotted with location markers. None of it stayed contained. Reposts spread across X, Streamable, and the forum reset era, and the footage crossed 100,000 views before press coverage had properly started. This next part is where a lot of channels are about to get sloppy. So let's be precise, because not everything in this leak carries equal weight. Outlets covering the story described the gameplay clips as seemingly genuine. The map images collected considerably more skepticism, with some coverage flagging that the artwork looked too simple to plausibly represent final in-game assets. Evaluating this honestly means accepting that the footage and the map are not on the same footing, and one of them has held up far better than the other. One more detail complicates the story of who did this and why. Links soliciting money from viewers were embedded in the posts distributing the leak, and multiple outlets warned people directly against clicking them. That undercuts any clean reading of this as principled whistleblowing, because whatever else was happening, somebody also tried to monetize the moment. What's actually in the footage? Before we reach Rockstar's response, let's talk about what people found inside these clips. Because for anyone who has tracked this franchise's design evolution, this is where it gets genuinely interesting. Every detail carries the same caveat the reporting itself carries, which is that Rockstar has confirmed none of it, and the footage may come from an outdated build. With that stated plainly, analysis of the clips produced a striking list. A 6-star wanted level appears on screen, one higher than GT, a 5 ever offered. Police identification reportedly tracks 3 separate categories, covering your clothing, your face and hair, and your vehicle. Combat drains a stamina meter, and full depletion triggers screen vignetting along with a movement penalty. A blue stealth indicator arrow tracks how close you're drifting toward police detection. Character traits work in the mold of Red Dead Redemption 2, and Jason reportedly picked up a plus 2% focus bonus for sinking a basketball shot. Morality gets tracked as well, signaled by a devil icon that surfaces during senseless violence, apparently drawing a line between starting a fight and committing murder. The list keeps going. Vehicles monitor gas and engine condition while offering trunk storage. Currency displays split into 2, separating cash on hand from bank and rent money. Both protagonists appear on the map simultaneously. Multiple racetracks sit scattered across it. That basketball minigame runs on a mechanic where you press the button when the rings overlap, and in-world brands fill the background, including Sea Shark, Scoop, 24/7, Arrow, a Hamilton clinic, and FastPass EMS. Understand what that list represents if it holds up. This isn't a graphical showcase. What surfaced here is a systems-level look at how the game actually plays, which happens to be the precise thing Rockstar has withheld through years of marketing. Trailers sell you a world, and this leak, assuming it's genuine, sells you the machinery running underneath it. Why CyberLeak says they did it. CyberLeak has been unusually direct about motive, which is rare for a leak of this scale. Watermarks appeared on the leaked materials, and the messaging attached to them framed the release as a protest against how Rockstar has handled physical media. Reporting indicates the specific objection targets physical editions of GTA 6, containing only a download code rather than an actual disc. And the phrase circulating around it online is no disc, no piece. The demands stretch far past that single grievance. CyberLeak issued what they're calling 3 commandments aimed at the entire industry, covering no digital pre-order sales, no fake single-player DLC, and no removal of single-player content. A threat came bolted to those demands, stated in their own words. CyberLeak will continue to disrupt their operations until they issue a public apology with a concrete commitment to fix the harm they caused. Rockstar drew the specific call-out over the Ultimate Edition's contents and digital pre-orders, but the warning reached wider than one studio. Publishers who violate those commandments will be targeted, according to CyberLeak, who added that where other major publishers are concerned, no one is safe. Whether that reads as convincing or self-serving to you, it reframes the entire story. Somebody chasing clout with a leak behaves differently than somebody opening a campaign, and this is positioned as the latter. Nobody can tell you yet whether more is coming. What we still don't know deserves to be said out loud, because plenty of channels will fill this gap with invention. Not one outlet covering this story has established how CyberLeak obtained any of the material. Internal leak, compromised build, third-party vendor, something nobody has considered yet. All of it remains genuinely unknown, and anyone telling you otherwise right now is guessing. Why Rockstar's reaction is the actual story. Which brings us to the part that gives this video its title. Copyright takedown notices went out within hours of the leak spreading, with Rockstar filing DMCA claims against the posts on X and the videos hosted on Streamable that carried the footage and the map. Here's the thing about a takedown, and it's why this matters more than the leak. Filing one is not a casual gesture, because a company has to formally assert legal ownership over the exact material being removed. Silence from Rockstar would have told us nothing at all, since publishers routinely ignore fake leaks precisely because responding hands them oxygen. Moving legally to strip footage off multiple platforms within hours operates on a completely different level. Let me be careful with the wording, because this is where the honest version and the clickbait version part ways. None of this proves every frame circulating online is authentic. Rockstar has released no public statement addressing the leak's contents, not before and not since. What exists isn't a confirmation in the form of a press release. It's Rockstar's own legal conduct, and legal conduct demands asserting ownership. When coverage of this story reaches for the word confirmed, that's what it points at, meaning not what Rockstar said, but what Rockstar did. Set that beside the map skepticism from earlier, and you land somewhere far more precise than the leak is real or the leak is fake. Real legal action taken by the rights holder backs the gameplay footage. Nothing backs the map claims except the leak itself, and parts of the press covering it have voiced active doubt. That distinction matters enormously here, because this community has watched a decade of fabricated GTA leaks come and go, and getting it wrong in either direction is how you lose people who've been paying attention since 1913. The bigger picture. Step back from the details, and the timing becomes impossible to ignore. 9 days separated this leak from Rockstar's own extended look. The Netflix first, YouTube second event that had been building anticipation since August 6th. Whether CyberLeak timed it deliberately changes nothing about the outcome. Rockstar now has to run the most carefully choreographed reveal in franchise history, while standing in the shadow of unofficial footage that over 100,000 people have already watched, and that its own legal team has effectively treated as company property. The business story surrounding all of this was already strange before anything leaked. Take-Two told Bloomberg its pre-order demand was unprecedented and astonishing. Management rescheduled the earnings call to a pre-market Friday for maximum simultaneous reach. Zelnick publicly defended an $80 price point, while declining to release a single pre-order figure and holding guidance flat at $8 to $8.2 billion. That same company just watched the system's level details of its most anticipated release in years get pulled into public view on somebody else's schedule. A bitter symmetry runs through the grievance driving it. The stated objection targets digital-only distribution and pre-order practices aimed squarely at a company whose CEO had, 11 days earlier, gone on record praising how well the pricing and edition strategy was landing with consumers. Zelnick insisted there's no doubt consumers are excited about both editions, and CyberLeak answered by making the Ultimate Edition's contents part of a public ultimatum. Where things stand. Here's the state of play as of right now. November 19th, 2026 remains the official launch date for Grand Theft Auto 6 on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S, with no new delay announced. The extended look arrives next, premiering August 27th, exclusive to Netflix at 3 p.m. Eastern before reaching YouTube at 9 p.m. Eastern that same night. Rockstar has made no public statement addressing what leaked, and the takedowns remain its only response, all of which returns us to where we started. A leaker with a stated grievance about discs and digital storefronts pushed gameplay into the world 9 days ahead of the studio's schedule. Some of what they released, meaning the footage, now carries genuine weight, and not because anyone at Rockstar vouched for it, but because Rockstar's lawyers moved on it. The map remains legitimately uncertain, and CyberLeak says they aren't finished. 9 days from now, we find out how much of this lines up with what Rockstar actually intended to show. Until then, this stands as the closest thing to confirmation the GTA community has received outside of an official trailer. And it never came from a press release. It came from a copyright notice. If this footage matches the extended look on August 27th, it becomes one of the most significant pre-release leaks in this franchise's history. And if it doesn't match, that's a story worth telling too. Either way, we're 9 days out, so subscribe, because we'll be covering it the moment it drops. Until then, take care, and I'll see you on the next one.
Make sure you click the circle to subscribe to my YouTube gaming channel, and make sure you click the box to watch my previous uploads. Take care, and thanks again.